The sun hung low in the sky, casting a soft warm orange hue over New Day Academy, a prestigious school that stood tall against the backdrop of the city. Angela walked the familiar path from the school gates, her uniform crisply ironed and her long pink braids styled in an updo with neatly laid baby hairs. Her waist, curved in a way that drew too much attention, had become both her blessing and curse. It wasn't just her beauty that caused a stir at the academy, it was also her brilliance. Students whispered as she passed by, eyes darting towards her but quickly looking away. Angela had become used to it. The jealous glares from the girls who envied her, the lingering stares from the male teachers who made her uncomfortable with their looks and unspoken desires. It was part of her life now. Angela's story wasn't an easy one. Her mother had passed away when she was still a little girl, leaving her and her younger brother Chinedu in the care of their father. Their father was a strong man, doing his best to raise two children alone, but the loss of his wife had left a hole in his heart. He worked tirelessly, long hours at a construction site to provide for them. Angela knew the sacrifices her father made, and in return, she excelled in school. She was determined to make him proud, to give her brother Chinedu a better life. But her beauty, especially her figure, drew attention she never wanted. The male teachers at New Day Academy were relentless. Mr. Emeka, her mathematics teacher, was the worst. His eyes would always linger a little too long on her, making her feel exposed. "Angela, you're such a bright student," he would say, leaning forward in his seat as she stood at the front of the class. "But you could do even better with the right kind of mentorship." His words were always laced with something unsaid, something uncomfortable. Angela would politely decline his invitations to help her after school, knowing fully well what he meant. But Mr. Emeka wasn't the only one. Mr. Bassi, the chemistry teacher, had cornered her after class one day. "You think you are too good for us, don't you?" he sneered, his eyes dark with anger. "Just because you are beautiful, you think you can reject us?" Angela had tried to explain that she wasn't interested in any of the teacher's advances, but they wouldn't listen. They continued to pressure her, to make inappropriate comments that left her feeling humiliated and scared. When she refused to play along, they began to punish her. Her grades in mathematics mysteriously started to drop, no matter how hard she worked. She was singled out in chemistry, called to the front of the class to solve impossible problems, only to be humiliated when she couldn't. They made her life at school a living hell, and there was nothing she could do about it. The other students didn't help either. Most of the girls in her class were jealous of her beauty and intelligence, thinking she was using her looks to get ahead, while the boys would make snide comments behind her back, thinking they had a chance with her. Angela cried often, but only in the privacy of her room. She couldn't burden her father with her troubles. He was already working too hard, too much. And Chinedu, sweet innocent Chinedu, was too young to understand. Despite everything, Angela was determined. She kept her head down, studied harder, and refused to let the teachers or the students break her spirit. She was going to graduate no matter what. She would make her father proud, and she would ensure that Chinedu had a bright future. But life had other plans. Just as she entered her final year of high school, tragedy struck again. Her father, the man who had been her rock through everything, collapsed at work and died from a heart attack. Angela's world crumbled around her. she and Chinedu were sent to live with their aunt, a harsh woman who had never been close to their mother. Their aunt resented them, treating them like unwanted guests in her home. Angela was forced to do all the housework, cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, and nothing she did was ever good enough. Her aunt would often wake her up at odd hours of the night to reclean floors she had already scrubbed or to do laundry again. Sometimes, she would pour water on her for not doing anything properly. She would pour water on the freshly cleaned floors just to humiliate her. Chinedu, still too young to defend himself, would try to help, but Angela always stopped him, not wanting him to suffer more than he already had. You think you are special because you are smart? Her aunt would sneer. Well, that won't help you here. You are nothing in this house. Angela took the abuse quietly, determined to survive it. She woke up every morning before dawn, finished her chores, and then studied until her eyes burned from exhaustion. She was going to graduate, no matter what her aunt or the teachers at school did to her. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, graduation day arrived. Angela stood in the school auditorium, clutching her certificates, her heart heavy with grief for her father and the pain of all she had endured. There was no celebration waiting for her at home, no proud father in the audience to cheer her on, but she had done it. She had survived. Angela struggled after high school. With no money and no family support, she took on odd jobs, cleaning houses, working at a market store, just to make enough to feed herself and Chinedu. It was a hard life, but she refused to give up. Then one day, while working at a store in the city, Angela met Uche. He was kind, wealthy, and immediately drawn to her strength and resilience. At first, Angela was hesitant to let him into her life. Too many men had treated her like an object before, but Uche was different. He treated her with respect, listened to her, and most importantly, he accepted Chinedu as part of their life. Within a year, Angela and Uche were married. Uche's love and support changed everything for Angela. She was finally able to leave behind the pain of her past and build a new future for herself and her brother. With Uche's help, Angela was able to send Chinedu to a good school. Angela's life had finally turned around. As she stood on the balcony of her new home, watching the sunset over the city, Angela smiled. She had survived the worst that life could throw at her. She had been broken, but never defeated. And now, for the first time in years, she felt free. Thank you for watching, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And please, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of our new story. And also, share your thoughts on the comment section. Thank you and God bless. Please check out my other story of the girl that rejected men because they don't look rich or dressed well. Bye.